what's up, everybody? Welcome to The Stack. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I am Pete.
And today we're going to talk about 3 titles for you guys. Wolverine, number 64. DC Wildstorm Dreamwar, number 1. And Last Offenders, number 2.
Wow.
So let's get right into the
so
reviews.
much more interesting when you say it that way.
Thank you. First Newsarama review for you guys. Wolverine, number 64. What'd you guys think?
Can't get any better than this.
Well, you don't even mean it anymore. You don't care.
what do you
You're
know?
like,
No.
I can't get any better than this.
Well, what specifically did you like about this book?
Well, you're getting a little backstory about the whole Mystique Wolverine love fest that used to happen.
Sex party.
And plus, I mean, with Wolverine, blows himself up, and then it goes after her, and she gets away again, which is a little upsetting, but.
Don't even bother reading it. You just hear it.
I felt like this is a pretty classic Wolverine story.
Yes,
in terms of exactly the plot elements that you said, having a little bit of the past, having a little bit of what's currently going on. I felt like, there's some fun stuff. There's some fun stuff they do with Mystique.
I like they're linking up a history between Wolverine.
You had a problem with the last page.
The last page is ridiculous. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it belongs in Maxim or something. It's
Really?
it's like
Maxim?
dude. It's like a dude fest.
I will ruin it for you, all right? Mystique takes off all of her clothing, which means she sucks it back into herself, and she is standing butt naked in the desert with 2 giant
it's
guns.
shadows. You don't see it. You can't tell that she's
I drew several things up there so I can see it clearly.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, the idea is like, I feel like it's like testosterone party, naked girls and guns.
The whole thing. I mean, it's Wolverine. It's over the top. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very much.
It was a little
It's
weird.
very much
why?
butt naked girls with guns.
Yeah, I don't know why she's.
I have
naked.
videos that I can look
It's
at about
comics
that.
for
I don't
boys.
need-
That's pretty much what it is. It's comics for teenage boys.
Uh-oh.
But I think it's enjoyable.
I'm
it's
not a
cute.
teenage boy.
If
Are you?
it is the sort of thing that you're going to go for, I think it is well done.
Yeah.
I do think it's a classic Wolverine story, but I also feel that was she getting naked? I thought she was just. I don't know what she was doing.
She was getting
Yeah,
naked.
she's
You
naked.
can't tell.
At least
I
in
mean,
the version
if you're
drew.
gonna love this, if you
can't
have a
tell.
Lamborghini poster on your wall,
Oh,
if
God.
you love playing catch with your dad, stuff like that, you
All right,
love this.
DC Wildstorm Dreamweaver number 1.
Dreamwar.
Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver. All right, so I read this comic.
Dreamwar.
What the hell is going on, guys? Could somebody
Well,
tell me?
this is
okay.
a way for readers who like DC to start reading Wildstorm, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Basically, some stuff is happening in the Wildstorm universe, and it's kind of old school DC characters.
Yeah.
Meaning it's Teen Titans in their pretty much first iteration.
Yep.
And you have old school Legion characters coming in. And Superman,
Yeah.
I guess. It's a lot of splash pages.
It certainly
Yes.
is.
Art sure is pretty.
This kind of stuff drives me crazy. I was a big fan of the Ultraverse back in the day, and then Marvel took it over and started injecting like popular characters such as Black Knight into it. And it was like, well, why? They were telling great stories there. Like, let them go. And then you putting those characters into it, it may draw a few readers, but unless there are
but the
good
problem
things
is
going
that the
on,
Wildstorm
like, why?
universe right now is completely in stasis.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on. They're in a constant state of crossover, and that's it. My biggest problem with this thing is, taken on its own merit, I think the issue is totally fine. It's a little confusing what's going on. It's the sort of thing of like, you're supposed to read it in a first issue and say, ooh, what's going on? I want to find out more.
Yeah, but instead
And
you're like, what's
It's not
going
completely
on?
evolving. My biggest problem is that they established that the Wildstorm universe is part of the 52 universes, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the DC universe crossing over into the Wildstorm universe, right? But this has nothing to do with anything else that's going on.
I don't even understand.
So it feels like, why are you doing this right now when Final Crisis is about to hit?
Yeah.
What exactly is the point? Is this a story that needed to be told? And
I don't
I
think it
think after 6 issues, we'll probably be able to look back and say, no.
I like some of the Wildstorm characters, but they just needed to use them well, rather than just like trying to like trick people into coming in.
Yeah,
and
I
reading
disagree with what you're saying. I think the Wildstorm is a great world. I don't think it's...
No. I do like it a lot.
Okay, I just feel that, like, you were saying they need to do crossovers. I
That's
feel...
the opposite of what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, anyways, my point is that, like, I feel like this was a bad example of a crossover and a first issue just because it's like, it's doing a whole bunch of nothing, and then at the end of the issue you're like, what? Instead of like being like, oh, okay, this is building to something. It's just like what on top of what on top of
All
what.
I'm saying is you guys have clearly never been in a Dreamwar. It is afterwards. Like we got back home and we were like, "What?" All right, let's move on. Talk about Last Defenders #2. We were a little mixed, I think, on the first issue.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the second?
Well, this is a perfect example of like reading a #1 and being like, okay, maybe they have something here. Maybe they can do something. It's like they have experienced players on a team, but instead of them being experienced, all of a sudden they're goofy and oh, we can't work together and we lost and oh god, now we're off the team. Like it was a really upsetting second issue.
I feel like this series is straddling a line between like, is this a goofy kind of commentary book on superheroes, or is it an actual superhero team
Right.
book? And I think it needs to choose, because otherwise it leaves me being like, is this real? Is this not happening? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it was just like, yes, we get Iron Man is, a complete tool, but like all of a sudden he cares now about when like instead of like doing what is right and attacking bad guys, like he cares about damaging buildings. It's like, really? This is where you're gonna stand up and be like, hey, don't trash buildings.
He loves all buildings
Yeah.
equally.
No, that's one of the major things in his character. Did you ever read Building in a Bottle?
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
a major
wow.
Iron
Yeah.
Man.
Big Iron Man.
Where
Yeah,
he
he
just
couldn't
like
stop
kept
licking buildings.
What I couldn't understand is how you get those buildings made in the bottle. Like that's
Yeah, it's hard. It's
really-
very tiny.
How do you get
gotta
them
use
in there?
tweezers. Not crazy about this issue. I pretty much agree with what you guys said. Writing's fine. Art is fine. It's just the series needs to find a direction. And
It needs
very,
a voice.
very quickly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that it has yet.
She-Hulk will not do it.
I wish you would.
She'll find an erection.
Oh,
Jesus.
Why
All
would
right.
you say that?
After the
Why?
break, we're gonna have a little panel discussion for you guys. So stay tuned.
All right.
I know, it's Oh, God. Oh, sorry, man. Arm stick. Beat it.
There's a place for us.
Somewhere.
Your love for comics doesn't have to be a secret. Go to pulpsecret.com for reviews and commentary on today's top comics.
Boy, this baby oil works great on my lion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed. I couldn't think of a better product to use on your
Hey,
lion.
if you have a lion, like the stack does, then why not buy CVS brand baby oil?
Wow.
Anyway, our
This brings
discussion
us to our panel discussion, doesn't it, Alex?
sure does, Pete. Our
Thanks.
panel discussion today is about product placement in comic books.
yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
Thought it was animal placement in comic books.
Nope, not the case.
No?
Animal rubdown.
Hey,
That's what
have
we're
your
talking
pet spayed or neutered.
No, nice. Very nice.
about. Product placement in comic books is something that is happening more and more often. I would say specifically in Marvel, I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
They've done things recently with Old Spice. Lost was all over all of their comic books. The past couple of weeks, we've seen Guitar Hero 3 Mobile show up at a couple of very appropriate places, like Punisher War Journal, among others. What do you guys think about
Fantastic
this?
Four. I think it's like our little bit here. It's awkward. I feel like it's never really done well because it's always obvious and like man, this Pepsi is delicious. What? Why would you say that?
I mean, it does take you out of the story, but I mean, they're making money.
Yeah.
They need to make some money for
No,
this.
I completely understand.
It's
I wish
just-
we could make some money.
It's tough. It's tough to
CVS.
ask people. It's tough to ask people, hey, spend money on our comic books, but we can't afford to make our comic books, so here's some stuff we're going to get money for that then you're essentially paying for ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way. This is, I think, a large part of the reason why people are moving into reading trades almost exclusively. I enjoy them a lot more because I don't have to skip through 30 pages of ads in the middle of the story.
Especially when it's the same ad. Like,
Yes.
we've all seen these awful ads with Bigfoot and the big car.
Oh, those are funny.
Yeah, and it's not working because I don't know what the card is because I don't like it, so I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah, totally.
Although I do enjoy the milk ads with the little mustache. I enjoy that.
I think Marvel does, in terms of advertising, despite the fact that I'm not crazy about it, they have the right idea in terms of integrating it. I do think the Lost stuff was fun. I think it was well done because it, for the most part, wasn't intrusive. It was a license plate that read lost 815 or something like that. That was just in the middle of the panel. And for the most part, it wasn't right in there. As opposed to the Guitar Hero 3 thing, my problem with that, the colors are too bright.
Yeah.
So you have a panel like the one in Fantastic Four, which is a relatively muted panel, and then you have a guy coming in with this bright Guitar Hero 3 mobile t-shirt, and that's the only thing my eye sees.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
it takes
really
you out of the story. That's what
exactly. It's as long as it's done well, it can not take you out of a story. As long as it's, I hate to sound old fogey, but as long as it's tasteful, and but
You can't help but sound old fogey when you are one.
I'll give you an example of something else that worked nicely, which I don't even think was advertising, but Hawkeye Clint Barton, in a recent issue of New Avengers was wearing a MC Chris t-shirt. MC Chris, who we've had on our live show, Comic Book Club, which you can check out.
Wow.
Now that's product placement.
That's product placement. But he was wearing a shirt, and it was very subtle.
Well, that's different. Like, I love, back in the day, they used to do it more, where, like, in the wall, you'd see, like, they might be giants scrawled on graffiti and, like, stuff like that. I'm like, we share an interest, maybe. Or, like, I know
what
that
about
band.
the Ant-Man issue, the World War Hulk issue, where there was Old Spice in almost every panel?
Yeah.
What'd you
Well,
think about that?
that's a joke. That's kind of funny, and, I can get into that. They're making fun of itself. In a way that's
So
not...
I guess it seems like there are some times when we are okay with product placement.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't take away from the story. Like in movies and TV, most of the time you don't, your eye isn't drawn to them. You're not like, oh, they're shilling Coke right now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they're just casually drinking a Coke.
Yeah. Or it's like in Transformers when the Mountain Dew machine got changed into a Transformer, and I was like, come on, you are taking me out of this movie.
Yeah, that's when I walked out, and then I cut the screen down with my butterfly knife.
You're Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
Hooray! All right.
I hear that a
What
lot.
do you guys think about product placement? Should there be more of it, less of it, just the right amount?
Yeah, more. Who wants more product placement?
Yeah, I know. I
Who
do.
wants to see us rub down a lion, all right? If you have a question, call us at 888-841-7549 or write it to tips@pulpsecret.com. You can also upload your video responses on YouTube or comment right here below the video. We will see you guys next time.
Yes, we will. No,
Give me
leave
that
the
baby
line.
oil.
Leave
Give me
it.
that baby oil. He's looking a little dry.
You're kissing that lion's ass. I'd be lying if I said this wasn't
No,
weird.
this is me kissing the lion's ass. You look great today.